Okay, Doug and Nancy and everyone else. There's your new heater. That space sure is cleaned up from all the stuff that was down there. They're the two old ones. They're getting hauled out tomorrow. I think the fellas will come by. This is the only additional thing when you have a tankless heater. This is called a condensate pump. And what it does, there's your new heater. There's all your manifold in the bottom. Had to be piped to the gas line. This is the intake, and this is the exhaust. So what we did, so you can see which way it ran, and there's the condensate line. And it went out to the side of the house. I just realized that the sill is really messed up. I guess you guys know that. Whoever put this new piece of wood in there knew that. So what this heater does is called a condensing heater. It pulls air from the outside of the house, which makes it more efficient, number one. And only thing we do in the winter time, if you guys aren't here, or if you are here, I think you leave your heat on low. But if you're not down, there's two drains here. It has a button here, the power button. I left the instructions on the side here, your booklet. So read that when you get time. They're pretty neat heaters, they are. And I'm gonna leave it on because what happens is this only will fire and use fuel when it senses water moving in the hot. So it just sits here waiting for you to open something hot upstairs. So there you go. Promise you today that it will be done, and it's done. Oh, the last thing is we realized there's no outlet over here, but I see whoever's been doing electric, I think it's might be Doug. I don't know, because it seems like you guys have a problem with electricity in the house. So I definitely, that's not my wheelhouse anyway. So the last thing to do is to run an outlet over there, or it's in the extension cord, and it really doesn't pull that much power, that much juice. Like you need a whole circuit. So you can get a longer extension cord if you want, or another one, and run it over to the corner just for these two. This condensate pump really will make water on days that it's cold outside. Today is almost 90, and I noticed it didn't make one drop of water because it's basically sucking in hot air. But there you go. That's the cat's meow in tankless heaters. They're really cool. I have one personally, so I wouldn't give you anything I wouldn't like myself. It's the best heater out there. And that's the full tour. We tested it, we ran hot water all the way up, and we let it run a while, so it's been running. When it's on, you'll see it's 120 degrees Fahrenheit. That's probably as high as you need to go. But the more you run hot water, the more it works. I've taken a shower and just stayed in there for a half hour just to see what would happen. And the hot water just keeps coming. You can't do that with a tank heater. You'll run out of hot water eventually. So there you go. The only thing missing is an outlet, and it has to be a double. And make sure that this pump and the heater are plugged in like they are here. I guess you can put, whoever's doing the electric around here, I don't think it's an electrician by my guess, but I'm seeing these tags because most electricians are not that kind that would tag all your stuff for you. So if you know there's a room in here to run an outlet over, that's probably what, be the best thing. Okay, good folks. Sorry you had to go through this, but this is something that's almost timeless, more or less. It's a stainless steel exchanger, I believe. They do recommend you service it every other year, but every 2 years. I could probably show you that myself, but when it's done, it's a couple hundred or whatever it is to service. You take it apart, you clean all your filters out, and that's all you can do to it. The rest of it is a big circuit board. And I'm trying to think, the last customer had 12 years or 14 years it's been. I haven't heard from him, and I had to remind him that he needs to service the thing, but in 14 years, he hasn't touched it, and he just keeps giving water. So this is a newer model than it was 14 years ago. They're different heaters now. Believe it or not, at least this heater's made in Korea, but to me it's the top one on the market. They make others, but the others aren't I wouldn't say reliable. They're not as inexpensive as this, number one. And then these guys, I think, have been doing it longer, and they're easier to service. So there you go. There's my pitch for Navion. Okay, good folks. Talk to you soon.